Hey there, loved ones. Welcome to week 7 of the Pride and Joy Predictions podcast, the series in which my friend Steve and I get together every week to discuss the latest happenings in the NFL, both the good and the atrociously bad, as we will be having later on in our podcast here. And then we also give our predictions for the upcoming games.
Absolutely there. At least with week 6, we did better than week 5. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I had a whole 6 extra wins in week 6 as opposed to week 5. So it was a fantastic week.
Yeah.
I went from 10 losses to 10 wins. So
yeah,
I'm here for that. And speaking of that, we also have a shakeup in the standings per the usual. John's doing John things, and I'm not that happy about it. So here are the new standings. We have John in first by 2 games with 61, 31, and 1, followed by myself at 59, 33, and 1. We have a 3-way tie for third with Steve, SDS, and Rev at 56, 36, and 1. Draz is all by his lonesome at 55, 37, and 1. Followed by another 3-way tie with Beegers, Savage Owl, and Alex Faye at 54, 38, and 1. Followed by Papa Agron at 53, 39, and 1. Buff has 51, 41, and 1. And Troll has 36, 56, and 1. My gosh, John coming back and taking first again is such PTSD from seasons past. So I'm here for it, but I also know that I have my work cut out for me because he is going to be difficult to catch up on. So now we have to, of course, begin after the standings with the week 6 recap. And I'm going to just be upfront with y'all. The regret of the week is going to be a little bit ranty. So sorry, not sorry. But before we get there, we have the game of the week that Steve and I have decided on, and it is the Panthers surprising the Cowboys and beating them in a very close game.
True. They're obviously something in the Panthers there is making them play like world leaders there last week.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm a little bit upset with the Panthers because I've called them alternately good, where on one week they'll ball out and they'll play amazing and look like the contenders we hoped that they would be, only to lose the following week in standard Panthers fashion. And so I fully expected week 5 and week 6 to be that same alternation between the two. And then they broke that mold by actually winning 2 very close games in back-to-back weeks. So my critique and analysis was extremely wrong. And I'm a little bit upset about that. So I'm going to go ahead before I get into rant mode here. And I'm going to let you take your regret of the week first.
Yeah.
Just so I can compose myself before I get upset.
Okie dokie. My regret of the week is not trusting the Seahawks to beat the Jags there. Obviously, Sam Darnold played a really good game there.
He did. Though it was a close one. Sam Darnold with JSN was an absolutely insane duo on the offense. And I'm really happy to see Sam Darnold kind of find a good home again. And it just kind of shows how a good team being around you and good coaching can make, the world of difference. Exactly. And I am very happy that Seattle has a defense again. Like, I kind of came up with the Legion of Boom era of Seattle. So seeing them have like Legion of Boom-esque defense performances right now and a decent offense to kind of go along with that, I'm so happy.
Now for your rant of the week.
Yeah. Rant of the week. That needs to be its own section at this point because I complain about things a lot.
Yeah.
So my regret of the week is not trusting the refs. I mean the Chiefs at home against the Lions. This game. I knew that this game was going to be some BS from jump because going into Kansas City almost always is. But I never would have expected the level of BS that we got. I actually scripted like bullet point notes for this rant just so I would make sure I didn't leave anything out that I really wanted to talk about. So the Jared Goff TD reception that was called back and flagged well after the play was over, by the way. And now there's controversy that it actually came from New York, buzzing down the order to throw the flag and call the play illegal. But that same play, Chris Jones was clearly lined up offside with his entire hand over the ball, and they didn't call that. Travis Kelce had a no catch that was ruled a catch, even though you can clearly see that the ball hit the ground first. And I actually have a meme that I'm going to pop up that I seen where the rules clearly state that if a player identifies themselves or establishes themselves as a chief, then the call stands and it's actually a catch. Kelce also asked for a pass interference flag, even though the ball was well over his head and yards away from him, and the refs gave it to him anyway. Patrick Mahomes taunted Brian Branch in the end zone, blatant taunt, pointed to him and flexed, and there was no taunting penalty. Meanwhile, Puka Nacua can do a quick flex and get a taunting penalty, or Scattaboo can just say, hey, first down, and that's called taunting because you told the defender that missed you, I got a first down. That's taunting. But Patrick Mahomes flexing on another player, not taunting. There were holding penalties that were missed. Basically, the Chiefs were not penalized once during that entire game, which kind of tells you everything that you need to know. Brian Branch getting suspended for paintbrushing Juju Smith-Schuster when Juju Smith-Schuster kind of instigated the entire fight by chasing him down and then getting beat up in the process because Brian Branch ain't no punk, and if you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back harder. But that was also instigated because Juju Smith-Schuster did a blindside block on Brian Branch during a run play, and it was not called. So Brian Branch was talking about how he got mugged during the entirety of the game, and the refs, who are supposed to have player safety on top of mind, did nothing about it. And there were no fines or penalties for the Chiefs and their role from it, at least not from the time of recording, as far as I know. So the entire game was such a colossal officiating disaster. And it's not that they messed the Lions out of the game and the whole, Detroit versus everybody thing. It's just that the officials clearly seem to have a clear and present bias for the Chiefs. And I think it needs to be looked at going forward. There's nothing that can be done about this game for sure. But that was one of the most atrociously officiated games I have ever seen. And that's including the Dallas game that they picked the pass interference flag up against Detroit. That's including the Calvin Johnson rule. The Chiefs game was one of the worst officiating disasters I've ever witnessed. So the officials really need to be cleaned up. And also, there was a story that the Chiefs' home games always seem to have the same officiating crew, which I don't know how accurate that is, but I know that you're supposed to rotate them out so that this kind of bias doesn't happen, but yet it's still continuing to go on. So, no sour grapes. The Lions didn't play well enough to win because you have to play well enough to combat your opponent and the officiating. So, you have to be able to play good enough to overcome all of those obstacles, and they didn't. But it was still horrible to watch, and to go get all of the posts on Twitter about it, and it was just, I don't know. But yeah, that was just all of the evidence that I listed out. That's the end of my rant. I composed myself, so I'm not angry about it, and it's just it needs to be investigated. Will the league do that? No, because the Chiefs are the most marketable franchise in the league right now, and if you make them money, they will be protecting you. That's just kind of how it goes. Green Bay had that forever. The Steelers had that. The
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys had that. And
Mm-hmm.
the Patriots had that. Now the Chiefs have that. So it's just how the league works. And
Yeah, sure.
it needs to change, but it won't. Okay, now that that's over, the honorable mention for the week is Atlanta doing Atlanta things and shocking the
Mm-hmm.
Bills when I thought for sure that I had them figured out. They
Mm-hmm.
decided to be like, no, 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 Joy, you don't. You'll
Yeah,
never know who we are. Like, yep, you
sure.
know what? Fair.
Yeah. Whenever we pick the Falcons, they lose, and whenever we go against them, they win.
Exactly.
Basically.
And that's been my problem with them for the last, I don't even know, like 4 years, maybe 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly since we've been doing the predictions podcast on the channel. When
Yeah.
we were just doing it with ourselves, it wasn't really as noticeable. But once we
Mm-hmm.
started keeping track and doing content on it, it is certainly ever present. So
Yeah. Sure.
good job, Atlanta. Let's see if you can mess me over again this week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, we are ready to head on into week 7. But before we do that, two teams that desperately need the bye are
Mm-hmm.
now having their bye week.
Yeah. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens need the bye because injuries to Lamar Jackson and a couple of their defensive players there.
Yep.
And the Bills, obviously, they're after losing the last two games, need a breather there to regroup there.
They need an offensive line badly. And like a legitimate number one receiver, I think would also help because they don't really have a star piece on that offense. And Josh Allen can only carry you so far. Also, side note, I feel kind of bad because ever since I made the Josh Allen, the man that you are comment in our podcast a couple weeks ago, they are now 0-2. So the Joy Jinx struck again and struck down the Bills this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to keep things in check a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
so that I'm not influencing things unless I actually, want to try to harness my jinxing powers for evil,
Mm-hmm.
which might happen. We'll see how the week goes and how certain teams treat me.
Yeah.
But now, with that out of the way, we can head on into week 7. And the first game up is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Obviously, the big story with the Bengals is did Joe Flacco do enough in the absence of Joe Burrow there last week? There.
Well, I mean, let me see. They did score 18
Mm-hmm.
on the Packers' defense, which is not horrible.
Sure.
But at the same time, they did have a better performance against the Lions in week 5 from a
Sure.
points perspective. So I don't know. I do still like Joe Flacco. I think that he is certainly an improvement over what they had.
Mm-hmm.
But
Over Jake Browning.
yeah, exactly. I think he is better than Jake Browning. I just think that the Bengals aren't going to go anywhere until Joe Burrow comes back. And even
Mm-hmm.
after that, they're not going to go anywhere until they make like impactful changes at the coaching position
Sure.
and get like a better offensive line because they have been needing to address the offensive line for
Yeah.
years
Mm-hmm.
and they have been refusing to do so. So
Yeah.
until they start building the trenches a little bit better, I don't see this team measuring up to the potential that they have, unfortunately.
True. For me this week, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with the Steelers on the road to beat the Bengals.
Yeah, it hurts my heart, but I'm going with the Steelers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really have anything I can truly say about the Steelers. They're facing the Bengals, so
Yeah.
that's pretty much the end of story there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
All right, so quickly moving on to get away from any Steelers thought. we have the London game in the morning with the Rams and the Jaguars, who are basically the London Jaguars at this point, so it may as well be a home game.
True. Yeah, true. The big question for the Rams is can they cope without Puka Nakua at wide receiver there?
That is the big thing. I think that they will be okay because they still have Devontae Adams
Yeah,
and they still
true.
have Kyron Williams, who is a darn good running back. And Matt Stafford has been known to kind of make the best of a bad situation. So I would put some trust in them for sure. Like I think this game will be close
Mm-hmm.
because of the Stafford factor in Devontae Adams and the run game. Like taking Puka Nakua out for this week is the right decision.
Yeah,
Especially because they have their bye next week, so he can get 2 weeks of rest. But it's going to be more challenging facing the Jaguars.
true. Yeah. To this one's going to be a close game. I'm going to go with my specialty on this one, the 3 point or less rule. I'm going to go with the Jags at home to beat the Rams.
Yeah, I like how it's the Jags at home, essentially, even
Yeah,
though it's a London game.
yeah, true.
They are also listed as the home team, so it makes a lot of sense there. So
Yeah,
I'm in agreement, although I kind of feel like this preemptively will be my regret of the week because
yeah,
I do still feel really good about the Rams. I do like the Rams this year. I think that their defense is coming up. Stafford is still Stafford, for better or for worse. He's going to be the same guy that he's always been. And their offense is fine. Like, I know that Puka Nakua has been their stud so far this year, but
mhm,
it's just going to now let the other pieces have a good chance to show out. And I'm expecting a lot more in the way of a run game,
mhm,
which, let's see, the Jags last week were beaten by Seattle, who has kind of a similar offense of a good run game, setting up the pass to their number one. So, kind of,
mhm.
I picture like JSN is the Devontae Adams in this scenario. So,
Yeah.
I do think that the Rams do have this one, but officially I am taking the Jags.
Okay.
All right, game 3, as we head back into the States here, we have the Saints going to Chicago to take on the
Yeah.
Bears.
Obviously, the big story with the Bears, they finally got their revenge after last year against the Commanders.
They did. And you know what made me mad about that game, outside of the fact that they won? Jake freaking Moody was the one that kicked the game winning field goal for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been going after Jake Moody for weeks because of how he played himself out of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden you're going to show up and not only kick well for the Bears, but kick the game winner for the Bears,
Mm-hmm.
propelling them to win 25-24. Like, okay, thanks, Jake. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where was this weeks ago? Where was this
Yeah.
last year? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that is the thing that made me the most upset about how
Yeah.
that game went.
Yeah.
Plus, it was just like Sunday night football and both Monday night football games were losses for me. So like all the wheels
Mm-hmm.
fell off of my momentum
Yeah.
in week 6. So that was just the perfect capper. And then on the Saints front, after they got their first win in week 5, they went on to, if I can find the game, lose a pretty tight one to the Patriots, actually. They only lost 25-19. So they're
True.
kind of putting some pieces together here. It's
Yeah.
been nice to see.
Yeah. But for me this week, that's the no-brainer for me. I'm going to go with the Bears at home to beat the Saints.
And this is one of our splits that I was predicting because I cannot. I made a pact, and so I am going with the Saints on the road. I think they're putting some good pieces together. And here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
like I do really like Ben Johnson. Don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
like Ben Johnson. I've always kind of liked DeAndre Swift. I think that he has problems for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Bears defense is getting there. So they are a good team. and they should win this one. I think they will win this one, but my heart is not in it, and I am taking the Saints.
Okay.
Next, we have the Dolphins and the Browns. This game is just nap time.
Yeah. Turn your sets off right now if you're going to watch that game.
Nap time the game. I feel bad for people who are in that market and are going to be forced to watch this game. I really do.
Yeah. Because these are two bottom feeder teams, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think about Draz, because Draz, one of the Pickems participants this year, he's in the Florida area. So he gets Jacksonville games and Dolphins games like all the time. And last year it was so bad for him because he just had to sit through Jaguars games last year every single week. And I'm like, you poor man.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for you. And it's kind of the same situation. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, the Jags are better now at least. So, and now he also has like better insight on the Florida teams because he gets to see them all the time. So it's a catch-22.
True.
But I feel bad for people in this market. Like, this could either be a very good game of like neither team really wants to win, so they all make mistakes and it's like who's going to capitalize on it first, or it's just going to be an absolutely horrible game to watch because like watching incompetence is always rough. So,
true.
I have a question on this game. Okay. Depending on the outcome, which coach do you think is losing their job first?
I'm going to say the Dolphins coach, obviously.
I would agree. I think that Kevin Stefanski is, not safe by any means, but Mike McDaniel is definitely on the hottest seat in the league.
Yeah.
Especially now that Callahan's already gone. Like, the first coach fell.
Yeah.
Surely the Dolphins are going to be next, right?
Yeah, true. Between him and possibly Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I feel bad for Aaron Glenn because he inherited a bad situation and a bad owner, an impatient owner, who is very much a "what have you done for me lately" kind of guy, and he will not let progress build, is going to be the big problem because Aaron Glenn needs at least another year to actually put his stamp on the team. He didn't have anything. He inherited a dumpster, right? Yeah. And so when you inherit trash, you're still going to have a bit of a trashy smell to you until you have a chance to like put your own mark on things. Yeah. So I would give him another year. I don't like one and done coaches. I think that is unfair to who you brought in. Like, look at Detroit. Detroit went, I think, 3-13, 3-14 in their first season with Dan Campbell, and now they're back-to-back division champions. So, like, you have to trust the process a little bit and give it some time to let them get their own players in. Because right now, this is not his team. It's just not.
Sure.
So, I would give him another year, but I also have a soft spot for Aaron Glenn. So,
sure.
I don't know. We'll see. But back to this game, who do you have between Dolphins and Browns?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to go with my specialty again for this one and go with the Browns at home to beat the Dolphins.
Well, we have another split then. I should have just taken the home team, but I feel like the Dolphins have been performing better as of late. Although I will say the Browns do have something. It might not be good, but it's something. They have a decent running back. Dylan Gabriel is not playing horribly, and they still have one of the best defenses in the league as far as I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what their kicking situation is. I haven't jinxed that kicker yet because apparently I have a thing for kickers and making them miss with my jinxes. Sorry, Rams, but you shouldn't have shown me your kicker. So that's on you. But I don't know. I feel like Miami has been playing better, at least points-wise.
Yeah.
But I do think that the defense is going to give them some havoc. And honestly, I can see this just being a nothing but field goals game. I don't think they're going to ever get in the end zone. It's going to be punt, 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 field goal, punt, interception,
Yeah.
fumble. Like that's what we're
Yeah.
going to see. I don't predict
Yeah.
any touchdowns.
Yeah. True. Hopefully,
So
my way that Miles Garrett there goes out there to
yeah, hopefully not enough to take him out of the game.
yeah.
we
Don't
don't we
want
don't want
another
his season
concussion.
to end. Yeah, we don't want his season to end, but we do need some pressure being levied against him by Miles Garrett. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I could definitely see me getting this one wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the last 3 games could very well be losses for me, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Next up, we should not split though. We have the Patriots and the Titans. I was going to do an NSYNC reference, but my
Yeah.
throat would not let me hit the notes the way that I need to right now.
True. Yeah. Obviously, obviously with the Titans, the big story is the coaching change there.
Yeah. Now, do we think that the coaching change being made the week before Mike Vrabel comes back to Tennessee is going to
Yeah.
help at all? Because the interim coach is still going to be from Callahan's staff. So, like,
True.
I don't really see what this helps or what this changes. I do agree
Yeah.
that he should have been fired because he has gone 4-19 in the last 2 seasons. So he is not a good coach,
Yeah.
and he's not helping
Obviously,
Cam
it's
Ward. So
the wrong coach for Cam Ward right now.
yeah, which is funny because the coach was there first and ended up drafting Cam Ward. So you would think that he would have drafted somebody that he would be good at working with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a plan from the jump. I think
Mm-hmm.
that the GM knew drafting Cam Ward that it was not going to work out with Brian Callahan. And so now I don't know who's going to coach the Titans next.
Yeah.
Belichick would be fun.
True.
And we know that he's not going to last in North Carolina. There's way too much
True.
controversy going on down there. So
Exactly. So I imagine we'll be in agreement with this and take the Patriots on the road to beat the Titans.
yes, we are. And again, I really want to sing the NSYNC line, but I also don't want to jinx the kid. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut and just say, yes, I am going with the Patriots because the Mike Vrabel revenge game
Mm-hmm.
must go his way.
Yeah.
All right, next, I so wanted to do a spite pick here. We have the Raiders and the Chiefs in Arrowhead again. Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, by your rant there, you're discussed with the Chiefs right now. There.
I've been disgusted with the Chiefs. There's someone actually did a whole study about the preferential treatment that the Chiefs get from the referees and how it all started when they became the most marketable franchise in the league. And it's like, well, there's clearly an obvious reason why they seem to kind of benefit from calls more than other teams do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that they don't get penalized, but they definitely don't get penalized to the level that they should for all of the false starts, holds,
Mm-hmm.
offsides, pass interferences, tauntings, roughing the passers, you name it. There's a lot of things that go uncalled and unchecked with the Chiefs, and it feels like they can get away with things that other teams just can't. It's kind of like the AFC's version of the Eagles this year with the tush push,
Mm-hmm.
where they can get away with illegally running that play by false starting and lining up incorrectly every single play, and they just get away with it because, yes, I guess. Like, I don't know. The whole thing stinks. And it's not just that I'm biased and bitter because of how Detroit went down. Because, like I said, Detroit did not play well enough to win. That is a fact. Because if they did, the result would have been different. But it still stands that there's something fishy going on with the officiating.
Yeah.
And it's been this way for years.
And obviously, with the Raiders, they're coming off a win there, but bear in mind it was against the Titans there.
Yeah, the Raiders, 20-10. They did good-ish. I don't know how Geno did, but I know that Geno so far this season has not exactly been great. But I do also know that Ashton Genty has been performing fairly decent the last few weeks. I keep getting fantasy notifications because he's on one of my teams, and I consistently get notified of anytime he does something, and so the phone goes off all the time, like all Sunday. It's just constantly vibrating. So I'm here for that. I'm happy for him. I just think that it's going to be rough against Kansas City and Max Crosby. Good sir. Good luck. Mm-hmm. Good luck not getting roughing the passer penalties against you.
Sure. Yeah. For me this week, this one's a no-brainer. I'm taking the Chiefs at home to beat the Raiders.
Yep. Of course. Why not? Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, we have, the aforementioned illegal tush pushers here. Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Obviously, the Eagles are in a little bit of a free fall right now there for some reason.
Overrated.
I don't know if it's locker room chaos there.
They're overrated. I said it last year, too, when they won the Super Bowl. I think that they are not nearly as good as they think they are, and definitely not as good as their fans think that they are. I think... there's a few little locker room spats, A.J. Brown being A.J. Brown. But also, it kind of reminds me of Tim Tebow in Denver. And I know this is a weird connection, but walk with me. Tim Tebow in his first season with Denver was great because he was different. They ran Wildcat all the time. He had a different kind of play style, and it was fresh and new. But then the following year, everybody knew the assignment. We all knew what the Broncos were going to be about. We all knew what Tim Tebow was going to do. And they got shut down. They fell off after everyone understood what they were. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing with the Eagles, because the Eagles ran the tush push 4 straight plays to get into the end zone. And that is one of the most boring ways of watching football. And I love a good run game, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But when you run a QB sneak on steroids 4 straight times, it gets to a point where you're just like, what is this? Especially, like I said before, when they're usually false starting while they do it, and the referees have a hard time officiating that because they can't see the ball because of how everyone's lined up. So I think the problem is that they kind of rely on that a lot, and teams have started to scout them out. Teams understand what they're about, what they're going to do, and they're losing the chess match pretty much from a coaching aspect. And they still, to this week, have yet to play a full 4 quarters of football. And I think that's ultimately going to doom them. If they can't figure out how to play a complete game, I don't see them making the Super Bowl again. And unfortunately, both of my Super Bowl picks have fallen off the wagon. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening this season, but it's really, really weird. But I do think that it's just that Philadelphia has become predictable. Yeah. And so they need to fix that before it gets to be too late. And then on the Vikings side, they're coming off the bye. They're at home. We could be looking at an Atlanta Falcons situation where they were off the bye and at home, and they ended up beating Buffalo. Mm-hmm. It's literally the exact same scenario.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This could be, like, clearly upset of the week here.
It could be there, because that's what I'm taking there. I'm taking the Vikings at home to upset the Eagles.
Oh, no. Oh, we have another split. Cool. How many is that? Because if I'm right,
3
we have 3 so far. For you guys, during Steve and I's pregame, our warm-up to get into this, I predicted we would have 5. So I am on pace to hit that number. If not, undershoot that number by a little bit. So, oh no. Because, like, here's the thing. Everything in me was also screaming to take the Vikings,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I can really trust the Vikings.
Yeah.
Much like Philadelphia, I can't really trust them either. So I'm just trusting that the Eagles are going to kind of get their stuff together a little bit and be mad that they've lost two straight. Because they lost to the Giants, right?
Yeah.
And then, that was just the first game they lost, right? Or did they lose? Nope, two straight, right? Because they lost to the Broncos. Broncos in week 5. Giants shocked them in week 6. So they are on a 2-game losing streak. So I expect them to be upset about that, especially being embarrassed by a division rival. So let's hope that they do, because if I'm wrong and the Vikings actually do end up winning, I will be mad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, I hope I'm wrong. We have the Panthers and the Jets.
Yeah, obviously, this is another game where you might want to turn off your TV set there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so bad, but I feel like every Jets game is that way.
Yeah,
especially last week when they were playing Denver. Like, that was one of the most gruesome games to watch. It was just not a good game at all.
and obviously, the Panthers coming off that huge shocking win there over the Dallas Cowboys there last week.
That was such a good game. That was one of the games that Dad and I actually watched a little bit of the ending for, because, like, we don't watch a full game typically, but we'll catch, like, the highlights of it and pop in and out while we're watching other things together every Sunday. So that was one of the games that we actually caught a decent amount of, and it was such a good game. I was really surprised. So, what say you? I'm going to let you take this one first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Panthers at home to beat the Jets to make them 0-7.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I agree. I think if there was a game that the Jets could win, it could be this one, because they have been making it a habit of being close in all of these losses. Like, they haven't been really blown out a whole lot this year. And the Panthers, they're also really scrappy. So I don't know. I could see where they might, like, play down to their opponent, which would benefit the Jets greatly if they do. But I really want Aaron Glenn to get his first win. I really do. So hopefully they do. And I've already jinxed Carolina with their coach and their kicker. So, we'll see if my jinx comes into play. So, how powerful really is it?
Yeah.
All right. So next game, we have, this one could be good. We have Jackson Dart and Scadaboo, one of my favorite new duos in the league. They're a delight. Going to Denver. Yeah. This is going to be fun, I think. A very fun game.
It could be. They're obviously the Broncos coming off another win, though. But bear in mind, it was against the Jets there.
And honestly, it was pitiful. Like, I'm sorry, but y'all won 13-11. Yeah. That was just, the offense was so bad for Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, like, I feel like this was also a case of playing down to your opponent. Because, like, they played up to the Eagles when they ended up winning. They had that great comeback. Their defense kept them in check. It was very gutsy to go for 2. It worked out. And then when they played the Jets, it felt like they weren't even trying on the offensive side of things, because the defense was fine. It kept them in the game. I mean, heck, the Jets only scored 11 points on them. So the defense was fine. The offense just did nothing at all. And it was embarrassing. So I think facing the Giants, they have to step it up. They have to play up to their opponent and really show who they are this year. And this is, for me, as someone who's like a little bit of a Broncos fan herself right now,
Mm-hmm.
This is a make or break because if you guys lose to the Giants after nearly losing to the Jets,
Yeah.
it's going to kind of expose you for what some people are calling you, and nobody wants that.
No.
Least of all me, who likes a lot of what y'all are doing. So get your stuff together.
Yeah.
That being said, on the Giants, they are so fun. Scattaboo is quickly becoming my favorite running back in the league. And I love Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, but Scattaboo, he's just fun. He's my favorite play style of a running back. And now there's all these memes out there of like him eating drywall and and all this stuff. And you know, the only thing that can stop this duo is a pole door. You know, so they're calling their like meathead personalities into question, and I love it so much. So I won't be mad if the Giants win because I do really like what they're doing. I love that duo a lot. I think that their wide receiver core is stepping up pretty well in the absence of Malik Neighbors. Their defense is surprisingly good with that defensive line. So I won't be surprised if they win, and I won't be mad much. I'll be a little mad for obvious reasons, but I am going with the Broncos at home.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree with you there. Obviously, I want the Broncos to complete the New York sweep there.
Yeah, that'd be very nice. Even though the Jets game was not in New York, I do think that beating both Jersey teams would be nice.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about this game, and I shouldn't be because I'm not like actually a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
But yet I feel a random nervousness within me. So I don't know. We'll see how this game goes, but I just have a bad feeling about it.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the Colts and the Chargers in a very interesting matchup now. I didn't really think it would be this good at the start of the season, but here we are with Daniel Jones leading the Colts into battle. It's like crazy.
Obviously, this one could be a close one there. Indianapolis, of course, we're all impressed with Indianapolis Jones this time around.
Yeah, that entire team, they're just like a genuinely good team. I don't know what to do with them. Like they're really good, but yet they're like it feels kind of like a replacement squad sometimes, you know? And they're just out there just having fun, playing with their heart, and it's just like, you know what? Good for you. Go for it, King. And I just continually, every single week, they find a way of impressing.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers find ways of nearly charging every single game that they have. They almost lost to Miami. Like, that's bad.
Yeah. That'd be a steel-toe boot to the confidence level.
Yeah, that is not where I thought you were going with that. Admittedly, my brain went somewhere else. But you're not wrong. Like, that would definitely be a kick to the confidence. So I'm going with the home team on this one, and I have a feeling I'm wrong, but I'm going to trust them at home.
Okay, so we have our fourth split because I went with the Colts to beat the Chargers.
God dang! I'm going to nail it, aren't I? I'm going to get that we have 5 splits. I'm going to get it right.
Maybe.
One of my greatest predictions. How many splits will Steve and I have? I need to do that. We should do that in our pre-games, like to start the thing, and that can be like our intro moment, like us just predicting how many splits we're gonna have based on how the week looks.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. So next up, let's see how this one goes, because this one could be another split, to be fair, as well. It's an NFC East matchup with the Commanders coming off of an absolutely heartbreaking loss to the Bears. How could you?
Yeah.
Going to Dallas in Jerry World after another heartbreaking loss to the Panthers. How could you?
Yeah,
Like both of these teams just losing to animal teams that they should not lose to.
exactly. There. Yeah. Obviously, the question is, what is wrong with the Cowboys there?
In a word,
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah, that's pretty much sums
Jerry?
it up.
Jerry is wrong with the Cowboys? Because, like, here's the thing their offense is clicking really well. Like, George Pickens has been very good for them. And then their run game isn't, like, anything to write home about, but it's also very effective and can impact the game pretty well. And Dak Prescott doing Dak Prescott things. So, like, their offense is fine. Their defense, yeah, not so much. And, it's almost like if you would have, I don't know, re signed your star defensive player that would have been very impactful to your game, you might actually be able to stop teams like Carolina from defeating you.
Exactly.
Almost like if you pay attention to your defense. Good idea, right?
And obviously, with the Commanders, they need a bounce back game after that horrible loss to the Bears. There.
Yeah, they really do. I still don't know the status of Terry McLaurin,
Mm-hmm.
but what made me really sad about the Commanders was the lack of Bill.
Yeah.
Merritt did not show up the way that he was supposed to. Everybody was so excited about it, and from what I seen, his stats were just not there.
For me
So,
this week, I'm going to go with the Commanders on the road to beat the Cowboys.
okay, good. So we didn't split this one. I honestly thought that we might, but we did not.
Well,
So I'm trusting the bounce back. I'm trusting the complete and total lack of a defense on Dallas to come into play. So hopefully the Commanders can kind of right the ship a little because I do think that the East is within reach. I think that the Eagles could easily collapse, and if Washington can get steady,
mm-hmm.
they have a shot to actually take the division. So hopefully they do good things.
Yeah.
All right, next we have the Green Bay Packers going to Arizona to face the Cardinals, who had a better offensive performance with Jacoby Brissett than they did Kyler Murray.
True. Yeah.
One of those weird things.
Yeah, that's strange there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some football teams can be unpredictable, basically.
Yeah, I honestly feel like this entire season has been unpredictable for the most part.
Yeah.
Like teams who should do well just are not, and then other teams who you expect to flop are surprisingly doing okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah, obviously with the Cardinals, we were expecting their Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. to be the 1-2 punch there to maybe take the Cardinals to the NFC West.
Honestly, I didn't really expect a whole lot out of Arizona this year. I was one of the few that was kind of not really in their camp. I was hopeful for Marvin Harrison Jr. To kind of settle in on his own path, but I didn't have much faith in him. Mostly because I don't really like Kyler Murray as a QB. It has nothing against him personally. I just don't like his play style or his dedication to the craft.
Yeah.
So that's just me. I like their defense. The additions that they brought in were fine. But now that they have essentially no real run game to speak of, the only thing that I like on that team is Trey McBride.
Mm-hmm.
For, reasons.
Yeah.
And then the Packers, they're the Packers. Matthew Golden finally got involved. I did appreciate seeing him score and put up some decent numbers. I am excited for his future, even though he's a Packer. But I think that they drafted a good one. They finally drafted a good one.
Yeah.
So I am excited for him. I'm hoping Josh Jacobs will be healthy to go. He's also on my fantasy team, and I got alerted that he's now listed as questionable, which isn't going to be a huge loss considering they're facing Arizona, but, ideally he'd be able to play.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, this week, I think it's going to be another close game, the 3 pointer or less rule there.
Ooh,
But I'm going
okay.
to go with the Packers on the road to beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm as well going with Green Bay. I think it'll be closer than it should be, and I think it's going to look closer than it actually is, if that makes sense. Like I think that the Packers are just going to kind of let Arizona hang around when they should have been putting the game away early, as they seem to want to do. That's kind of their thing this year. Everything is really stressful for them. So
True.
I don't think it's going to be as close as it looks, but I do think the score will be close.
Yeah.
All right, next we have, I hate this game so much. We have Sunday Night Football. We have the freaking Falcons going
Yeah.
to the walking hospital that is San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
It's just,
Obviously
uh,
with the Niners, they lost another body there to injury there last
Fred
week.
Warner. I like him
Yeah.
a lot on the defense, and I was very sad to see that he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is just getting shredded
Yeah.
so much. Like I'm happy that Mac Jones is doing well. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, like on the offensive side of the ball, but that defense though, my God. And then also their place kicker got stepped on by his own teammate. Like they're literally falling apart. I don't think he's hurt or not going to play or anything, but like
Mm-hmm.
every single thing the 49ers do somehow becomes a meme this season.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about them anymore.
So for me this week, I know I'm going to take a loss, but by saying this, but I'm going to go with the Falcons on the road to beat the Niners.
Okay, well, there is split number 5 because I cannot trust Atlanta. I refuse to fall for the trap. They beat the Bills. They're going to have some hype coming into this game. I want to believe in Atlanta so badly after they embarrass the Bills, but I refuse to fall for the trap. So, out of pure spite, and you're not going to fool me again, I'm taking San Francisco against my better judgment.
Okay.
So they're split 5. Now that I'm looking at it, I think we're going to have 6 because now we move on to Monday Night Football, another doubleheader. Man, I hate these. We have the first one up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Raise of hands there. How many would have predicted that Baker Mayfield would have a lights out season this year? Obviously, few people.
Well, yeah. I think I had high hopes for him coming into the season. What I did not expect was for his entire offense to go down around him and him still be putting up baller numbers and still be playing lights out, throwing to a 6th string wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like he is truly making the best of a bad situation, like we talked about earlier on in the podcast. So I'm happy for him. I I like Baker Mayfield. I always hated Baker Mayfield because of his attitude. Coming out of college and then with the Browns, and then he went to Carolina, and it's just like, and then he had that whole thing where he could have gotten Detroit into the playoffs or something, or had a better seeding when he was playing for the Rams, and he blew it. I was very upset. So yeah, I still have a little bit of issues with Baker Mayfield here and there, but I do really like his play style. I like how chippy he is. He's a dog. He's got that dog in him for sure. It's just everything else about that team, their defense mostly. But yeah, I like Baker Mayfield. I won't be mad if he does well, and Tampa making the playoffs this year. I'm down for that. I think Baker deserves it. I don't like their coach. I think that they would be better off with a better coach than Todd Bowles. I said that when he got the job originally, and I stand by that. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind Tampa. I mind them this week because they're facing the Lions. But typically, I don't mind them. They're a good team.
For me this week there, I think we're going to have a 6 split there because I went with the Bucks on the road
Yeah.
to beat the Lions.
Yeah, this is the split that I knew out of the 5 that we were going to have.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one other game that we split on that I was surprised with.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my reasoning on Detroit. I think that Detroit is going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that Tampa was one of the few teams that beat them last year, so they have that in the back of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Aleem McNeil, one of Detroit's defensive linemen, is practicing again and should be good to go, which is going to be huge for their D line, pairing him up with Hutch again. They will, however, be without Brian Branch because of the 1-game suspension for the fight that he quote unquote instigated last week. And then they're still going to be without Terrion Arnold, which, as much as the haters want to say is a good thing, is actually not a good thing. He's very good for them on that field, and the stats show as much. So their secondary is going to be a bit of a problem, but I think that their D-line will be improved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just offensively, they're going to be a little bit angry with things and how things went down in KC. So that's kind of my only reason, is I think that they're going to play mad. Okay. And when they play mad, they usually play well.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yep. All right. So the last game, we have the Texans, who are coming off of their bye, going to Seattle, who had a very good game last week.
Yeah, obviously against the Jags there.
Yep.
So this one's going to be a no-brainer for us, I imagine. There, I'm going to take the Seahawks at home to beat the Texans.
Yep, I agree. I wanted to have more to say about this game, but there just really isn't a whole lot going for it, in my opinion. Sure. The Texans are, while they're coming off of their bye, they're still not exactly a great team this year. I think that they have regressed a lot, mostly because their offensive line is in shambles. And I think when you're facing a defense as good as Seattle this year, that is not going to spell good things for the Strouds. So, unfortunately, because I like Houston. I like their coach. I like Stroud. I like Nico Collins. Nick Chubb is a delight. Yeah. But sure. I think that they're just facing a really good team, and it's just not going to work. So
this week we have 6 splits there.
Yeah, 5. more than I thought we would have. I was close, though. I will give myself credit for that. I was very close in my prediction, so I will take solace in that.
So that's how we feel about our picks. It's now time to find out what our friends feel with their picks.
Yes, indeed it is. Let me pull up my folder, and I believe you have a little note that you wanted to send off to our first friend up.
Yeah. Hi, John. So sorry we haven't kept in touch lately there, but I just wanted to let you know there, I'm not mad that your Seattle Mariners are beating my Blue Jays there. But I just wish them well there. I just worried that my Blue Jays might come back there, but you never know. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. You never really know what can happen. So I don't really follow baseball as closely as Steve does, but it was the Mariners eliminated my Tigers, and I'm saying my Tigers because I came up with Cabrera and Brandon Inge and Maglio Ordonez and all that, and Justin Verlander. So I still have some fond memories of Detroit. Jim Leland, one of my favorite people in all of sports. He was a gem. So I, keep in touch with it a little bit. So having Detroit make it that far and then just pull Scooball while he was doing well in the game, it was really unfortunate. But the Mariners moved on.
The the 15-inning marathon there.
Yeah, it was such a long game that SDS was actually just begging Detroit to lose just so he could go to bed. Like, just beat us already, because he's a Tigers fan too, and he was mad. Like, somebody just score so I can go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just thinking, I mean, you could have gone to bed at any point and then checked the score in the morning. No. Once you're watching, you know? But, alright, so first up is John in our Friends Picks section. We have him taking the Steelers and the Jags, saying most of the Rams' offense has been Nakua. Then he took the Bears, Dolphins, Pats, Chiefs, the Eagles, saying that he will be mad if this goes Vikings because my gut told me Vikings. Then I looked at the two QBs being questionable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that definitely would help sway some things. And then he's got the Jets, Colts, Commanders, Packers, Niners, Lions, and his Seahawks, just saying, of course, the NFL gives another bye-week team time to prep for Seattle in a primetime game. Yeah. Because, yeah, the NFL's great. So great. They are so fun. We love this league. Right, and then moving on, now we have SDS, who has an emoji pick sheet this time. So anytime you see the shark, that is a coin flip. He literally flipped a coin to determine what team was going to win. Heads was home, tails was away. Okay. So he's got the Steelers, the Rams, the Saints, saying that they are so far back in the division that I can now wish for them to beat the other teams that I despise. The Browns, Patriots, Raiders, Vikings, Panthers, the Giants, saying Dart is greater than Knicks. Okay. F you, Duckface. We could argue about that, SDS, but I'm not going to waste my time nor my jinxing powers on this game. And then we have the Colts, saying Indiana Jones and the glorified home game. Mm-hmm. The Commanders, Carolina violated dem boys defense. Carolina. And then he's got the Packers, the 49ers, the Bucks. Let's be honest, I'd have chosen the Bucks anyway, but I coin flipped out of fairness. Mm-hmm. And then also the Seahawks to round him off. Yep. Then there's Buff, Steelers, Rams, Eagles, Pats, Panthers, Dolphins, Bears, Chiefs, Colts, Giants, Packers, Commanders, Niners, Bucks, and Seahawks. And then we have Papa Agra. Steelers, Rams, Eagles, which I know had to hurt you. Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, Bears, Chiefs, Colts, Broncos, Packers, Cowboys, Falcons, Lions, and Seahawks. And then we have Troll.
My buddy.
Your favorite. Mm-hmm. The Bengals, Rams, his Saints, Dolphins, Titans, Raiders, Eagles, Jets, Giants, Chargers at home, Cowboys, Cardinals, 49ers, Lions, and Texans in a bit of an upset coming off of their bye. Which makes sense. They're coming off their bye.
Sure.
Good for you. And then there's Rev, who took the Steelers, Rams, Panthers, Eagles, Chiefs, sadly, Patriots, Browns, Saints, Chargers, Giants, Packers, Commanders, 49ers, Bucks, and Seahawks. And then Beegers, who was unfortunately right about the Chiefs last week, still mad about that, who took the Steelers, Elite Joe Flacco, my dear Aunt Sally. By the way, can I get an extra point if they tie? No, but if you pick the tie, officially, maybe. Jaguars, Eagles, Patriots, Panthers, Browns, Bears, Chiefs, Colts, Broncos, Packers, the Commanders, but if CD comes back, the Commanders get whacked. The 49ers, the Lions, if the Bucks win, I might be on the Baker MVP train. Maybe. And then the Seahawks for the final game. Then we move on to Savage Owl, who once again decided to be risky, and I'm here for it.
Mhm.
He took the Bengals, Rams, Bears, Dolphins, Titans, Chiefs, Vikings, Panthers, Giants, Chargers, Commanders, Packers, 49ers, Lions, and Seahawks. If your Titans pick works out, my guy, I'm here for it. That would be great.
We're here for it.
Yep, we are. All right, and then there is Draz, who once again included some scores. Y'all can take a look at those on the screen. He's got the Steelers to beat the Bengals, Rams to beat the Jags, Eagles beating the Vikings, Patriots over Titans, Panthers beat the Jets, Dolphins beat the Browns, Bears beat the Saints, Chiefs over the Raiders, Colts beating the Chargers, Giants beating the Broncos, Packers will beat the Cardinals, Cowboys beat Commanders, Falcons beat the 49ers, Bucks beat the Lions, and the Seahawks dominate pretty much the Texans. And then finally we have Alex Fay. Steelers, Jags, Vikings, Pats, Jets, Dolphins, Bears, Chiefs, Colts, Broncos, Cards, Commanders, Falcons, Lions, and Seahawks. So nice little blend of picks here. There's a lot of splits among the entire league, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the standings shake out.
Yeah, exactly.
What an episode. It's been over an hour, but most of that admittedly was my rant on the Chiefs and the Lions and the officiating and, just overall ranting in general. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one here and get out of here. Thanks to the members of the channel, names scrolling up on the top of the screen. If you would also like to become a member and see your name scrolling, you can check out the Join tab and see if any of those perks are something that you might be interested in.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, hit the like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all of our future videos on here.
Yep, I am a variety channel who does 2 different types of podcasts. There's the NFL podcast you will get every Thursday at noon. And then I also do a wrestling predictions podcast with my friend Ray. We go over like NXT events, WWE events, etc. Every month, twice a month or so. And then there's also a bunch of other content on the channel. Y'all can go ahead and check out my channel page and see if any of those things are interesting to you. And we will catch you guys next week for week 8 of the Pride and Joy Predictions podcast.
Thank you all. See you all next week.